All right. Hey, hope your very short week one went pretty well in all your classes. I know, like I said, we just kind of jumped in and I was a little bit late as far as getting everything ready to put up on Blackboard. So if you're still kind of getting the hang of everything, that's completely fine. If you are lost or confused about anything, please let me know. That's not going to bother me at all. That's my job this semester is to let me know if you need anything. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, week one, remember it was mostly just an introduction. You had to do the pretest and there were a few other assignments. Week two, because we got a late start, this one is still going to be mostly an introduction. Now, you do have your first chapter lecture to watch, but chapter one is an introduction chapter. We're not going to get really detailed into anything about the body, but chapter one, honestly, is probably one of the most important chapters we're going to do because there is so much terminology. There's a lot of vocabulary terms. There's a lot of concepts that we're going to introduce in chapter one. And you're going to see these over and over for the rest of this semester. You'll see it in 202 also. So I was just reviewing, I know chapter one, we talk about metabolism really quickly, and it's not that big of a deal, but metabolism is something that's going to come up over and over, especially in 202. Every single chapter you'll see about that. So this is important. Don't see that it's an introduction and think, well, I'm just going to skip it. I'm not going to worry about it. A lot of the terms you're going to learn in this chapter, you're going to see the rest of the semester. Anatomy, I think I say this in the lecture video, but anatomy is not one of the subjects where you can just hear it one time and you know it and you're good to go. So you do have to practice. So feel free to watch this and watch it multiple times if you need to. All right. These lecture videos, so I've recorded them a while back and they were really long, honestly. I think this first one was close to 2 hours long, and that's a long time to expect you to just sit down in front of a computer. So what I did this time was I went through and I edited them and I made them short. So when you watch, or made them shorter, when you open up, go to the Learning Materials tab, click on Unit 1, that's the first test material, and then click on the Chapter 1 folder. You're going to see the PowerPoint, and you can print off the PowerPoint and use that to take notes. I explain how to do that in the video, how to make a handout and take notes. But underneath there, it has 4 different lecture videos. Don't let that scare you away. I broke it down into 4 parts. Each of them are around 30 minutes apiece. So if you've got enough time, you can go through and watch them all together. If you've only got like an hour on Monday and an hour on Tuesday, you can split them up that way. All right. Also, I went and I put like what slides they cover too, so that'll make it easy to take notes. All right. So watch that early in the week, preferably if you can do that. And then underneath there, it says once you've watched the chapter 1 video, you can start on the Learn Smart assignment. I've got more information on that, so just kind of save that for a little bit, and we'll talk about that. Other than that, any of last week's assignments that you didn't do, you need to do those. So the About Me survey, the syllabus quiz, and the diversity project, those are all going to be due on Sunday, August 30th. So if you haven't done those, a lot of you have done them already, but if you haven't, make sure you complete that. All right, so for the rest of this week, still kind of introduction, we're not going to start the lab assignments or the Connect assignments yet. But what I've done is I've recorded several videos that explain how you're going to do those. So I want you to go ahead and get familiar with them. So let's look at those. It says go to the Connect Assignments tab, so you can see that in the left. And there's a video that says Using Connect. What I did is I recorded a video, so this is one I did, that's going to show you how to sign up for Connect. I know I've mentioned this before, but we don't have a physical textbook in this class. So instead, you're going to buy a subscription to a program called McGraw-Hill is the company, McGraw-Hill Connect. That's going to give you access to an electronic textbook. And then we're also going to use different parts of Connect where I've made some Connect assignments. What we used to do is you would have to buy a textbook and a lab book, and they came like in a bundle together. And they were, I'm wanting to say, like over $300. It was pretty expensive. Now, I know Connect is not cheap, but it's a lot. It ends up being about half of what you spent on the textbooks. And instead of a lab book, I've just made Connect assignments. So that's how you're going to do a lot of the lab work, is through those Connect assignments. So if you watch that video that I recorded, it'll explain all that. It'll tell you how to sign up for Connect. And then once you sign up, it will show you how to find a textbook and then a lot of other things too. So just watch that. Again, mostly just looking at it this week, but if you have any questions, let me know. And then just a heads up, our first Connect assignment is going to be next week. It's due September 6th is when that's due. So you will need it by then. If there's a financial issue where you can't get it, number one, it is required. Like, this is a required material for the class, so you're gonna have to get it. But there's an option where you can sign up for a 2-week trial period. So what you can do is get the temporary access for 2 weeks, and then after the end of that 2 weeks is when you'll have to buy the Connect. All right. All right. Next is Learn Smart. So I mentioned that earlier. Learn Smart, there's another tab to the left. Click on that and watch the video, but it's a really cool program that's going to help you study. It's going to show you how you can look up information and take notes and all that. But when you're done reading through the electronic textbook, it's going to give you a quiz, and it's kind of a lot. There's 50 different questions, but if you go through and answer them correctly, and you do all of them and answer all the questions, I'm going to make that worth usually 2 or 3 bonus points on your upcoming exam. And there's several of those assignments for each exam, so you can end up getting usually like 6 bonus points for doing these Learn Smart assignments. So watch that video to get more information on that. And then lastly, the lab kits activity to the left. Remember, we're going to have a lab kit for this class. I've got a video that explains that. Your first lab assignments aren't due until October 18th, so they're a ways off, but you do need to go ahead and order that, because I've got a feeling it's going to take a long time for those lab kits to come in. So many colleges right now are switching to online, so all of the lab companies are kind of overwhelmed right now. So just order that as soon as you can. And then when that date gets a little closer, probably next week, I'll go into more detail about the lab assignments, the lab kit assignments. All right. So that's it. Big thing is the chapter 1. That's a really important chapter. You'll definitely see that on our first test. So go through and do that. And then after you've watched that lecture, let me know if you have any questions, but then just make sure that you've finished last week's assignments, and then you can get a head start looking at Connect and Learn Smart and the lab kit. All right. Let me know if you need anything, and I will see you soon.